Good morning, family. Just want to talk to you today about Kemetic spirituality, what it is and why it is. And I wanted to really kind of educate you on the idea of spirituality and what it is, because I think a lot of times as Christians, we were taught that Christianity is being spiritual, or learning Christianity is being spiritual. And on some level, Christianity does have just enough spirituality in it to keep you hooked. But as a religious system, it really ends up doing the opposite of what spirituality should do. So Christianity, Buddhism, Kemeticism, Hinduism, Ifa, all of these religious and spiritual systems are truly simply frameworks, okay? They are frameworks that, and I like to use the analogy of a picture frame to explain the idea of a framework. It's what keeps you focused in on the picture, okay? So it frames your reference, okay? And it frames, and in this sense, these systems frame the way that we think, okay? They give us a foundation and a way to think about our world and our life, okay? So all of these are frameworks. Now, what I get is a lot of people believe that the things that they do within these systems, the rituals, are what's being spiritual, okay? And understand that rituals are definitely a part of who we are as a people. We have rituals that are not even what we would call spiritual, just things that we do when we get up in the morning, you know, the how we get dressed, you know, what we do, what order we get dressed in and what we do. So those are rituals, but those rituals are not the system. And I had a gentleman tell me that he was white and that he's practicing Kemetic spirituality, and he told me that basically he does Kemetic prayer in a way that he sits a certain way, you know, and it forms a shape, you know, the shape of a pyramid and stuff like that. And first of all, let me say, I think it's cool that someone white is practicing Kemetic spiritualism. And this goes back to the beginning when I said it's all a frame. And this is open to everybody, and it should be open to everybody. So a Kemetic centered living, it is open to everybody. Race, creed, sexual orientation, all of that. God comes in all forms, and that's the way I practice. So God is everything, and everybody is an aspect of God, and I respect that. So that's why I say that. But when he talks about the idea of prayer, to me, it's centered on the idea of rituals, you know. And when we're talking about Kemetic prayer, it is more than a ritual, okay? So when we talk about the ancient African idea of prayer, it goes beyond the words you say, you know, bowing your head, you know, putting your hands together and getting on your knees, okay? It goes beyond the words. So it is, from the Kemetic paradigm, spirituality is really about helping you to go into your inner world, okay? And the rituals serve as like a way to put you in a certain state to tap into that inner world, okay? That's the bigger idea. That's the deeper idea, because everything that we are, everything that we see and experience, it is a manifestation of a world that is larger than this reality, okay? This reality comes from a larger metaphysical reality that contains a heck of a lot more experiences and possibilities than this reality that we're in. We're simply focused on one aspect of this reality, okay? So understand, when we're talking about spirituality, it's not about funneling you into a way of thinking, you know, or a way of being. It is about helping you to expand into something more, okay? And that's the biggest takeaway. If I can give you a big takeaway from this idea, it is that spirituality is not a way to box you in and to make you think a certain way. It's to help you to become more and to expand into being more, okay? So the words and the ritual is not what's being spiritual. It's how you are being that really is what spirituality is about. It's about the I am, you know? And we all know the idea that, well, we might not all know. The idea that whatever you say after I am, that creates your reality, okay? I am sickly, okay? I am wealthy. I am abundant, okay? Whatever you put after I am, that's what you become. And in a larger sense, we usually try to identify with something, but we don't know how to become it. And until you can become it, it does not manifest in your life, okay? That's deep, okay? That's deep. So when we're talking about most people practice spirituality, or I'm sorry, most people I see that come to Kemetic spirituality from Christianity, they end up practicing it in a way just like they did as Christians, okay? The only thing is they feel like they've dropped the belief in Jesus and now they're free, okay? But in reality, they stay trapped in the same way of thinking that they did as a Christian, okay? And what I mean by this, Christianity a lot of times sets up these dichotomies of somebody being an enemy, you know, either you're for me or against me, you know, you're gonna be attacked, and spiritual warfare, stuff like that, you know. And these are ideas born from people that feel like, or feel like they have to fight, they have to protect themselves, and it all comes from a foundation of fear, okay? From being afraid of something. So these people end up and hating the same people they hated as Christians, being just as misogynistic, homophobic, all of these things they end up being and doing the same, but they say that now they believe, or they are Kemetic, or that they're practicing Kemetic spirituality. If you take the same frame that you were in and then put it on Kemetic spirituality, nothing has changed for you, okay? So you have to look at spirituality in a more broader sense than what we were taught as Christians, because what we were taught as Christians as spirituality is truly not the case. It is a religious system that ends up binding you or boxing you into a certain way of thinking that really causes more limitations than anything, okay? So understand that, you know, Ifa, Kemeticism, Voodoo, which is the African systems, underneath, they all have a lot of the same principles that they operate from, okay? They're just expressed a different way. But it's all about really helping you to expand, and you expand by going within, okay? You expand by going to your inner journey, or on your inner journey. And there is information and experiences that when you go in there into that inner you and explore it, you might not be able to communicate it with other people because there might not be words that can express the idea and experiences that you have or that you had in that inner journey. And that's simply because our language is also a framework. And our language frames our physical experience in a way that we can communicate with each other. So we can have the same physical experience and or have some similar some similar physical experience, and then we can communicate with each other about it because we're essentially operating from the same frame. Okay? Spirituality is bigger than that. Kemetic spirituality is a part of a frame, or is a framework, and there are many ways to access this inner self. So I don't want to make it seem like Kemetic spirituality is the only way, because there's a lot of ways. And I mentioned Buddhism and, Ifa, Hinduism. There's a lot of different ways to access this knowledge and information, and a lot of different frameworks to do that in. So understand that there is a larger world outside of our physical reality, and these systems or frameworks are trying to give you entry points into that. I like Kemetic spirituality because it literally answers questions for me about Christianity that I had that didn't feel right. The Christianity, after a while, just no longer resonated with me. And but Kemetic spirituality, for me, answers so many questions. And the reason why I like it and why I talk about it is that I think that it can help others that want to do the same thing, that are wanting to expand spiritually, that are wanting to expand their life. And when I say spiritual, I don't mean just, trying to be holier than thou. I mean enjoying and living life, because that's really what it's about. It's life is about you enjoying yourself and experiencing this with all the gusto and in all ways that you can. Okay, so Kemetic spirituality is a framework. It is open to anybody that has ever been Christian, as far as I'm concerned, and anybody else. It is a powerful way to learn and gain knowledge of a broader you, okay, as a soul having a human experience. All right, guys. Hey, I'm gonna cut it off here, and y'all have a wonderful morning and a wonderful day, and I will see you soon.